where best friends and next-door neighbors, Willow and Lillian, spill the tea on murder, mysteries, and other things that go bump in the night. So get your favorite teacup ready, and let's get into it. Welcome to Cruelty Podcast. This is...
No, do we have to do it again?
Nah, we're just gonna... Fuck it, we're doing it live!
We're doing it live.
This is Lillian, and with me is Merris.
Yeah.
This is Merris Monday.
Hello.
And look, I'm not even intoxicated in any way. I'm just fucking tired.
High on hot cocoa.
I am high on hot cocoa.
Can't
God,
say
I can't
it.
even talk.
No, why are we on a podcast?
Look, this is a segment I've been wanting to do on Merris Mondays since we kind of started Merris Mondays. We have horny history.
Yeah.
This is horrible history.
Oh, God.
Oh, this is rough. This is rough. And without further ado, this is human guinea pigs.
They're not actual
cute.
guinea pigs, are they?
No. So the trigger warnings on this, and please heed them. I don't normally trigger warning a Merris Monday, but this one needs it. Racism, animal cruelty, pregnancy loss, birth defects, and stillbirth.
Okay, I gotta go.
Nope, you have to sit here.
Oh, God.
You make me do the reality podcast.
That podcast is
TV.
fun and has no human guinea pigs. Well, no. All of 90 Day Fiancé is human guinea pigs. I take that back.
Yeah. So when we say something or someone is a guinea pig, we mean that we're testing stuff on them. But usually we don't actually mean it in a literal sense. Surely the U.S. government wouldn't use real people without their knowledge to test the horrors of nuclear war.
No, or guinea pigs.
But that's exactly what we did in the Marshall Islands in the 40s and beyond. So I want to talk about it. It's a conspiracy in so much that the U.S. government denies that the indigenous population wasn't informed and that they haven't been fairly compensated for what the fuck we did to them.
No, even if they were informed, I don't think that's... you still can't do it.
Well, they did it. My God.
We're doing it live.
Our story takes us to Bikini. It is the rim of an underwater volcano in the Pacific Ocean and part of the chain of 22 islands that make up the Marshall Islands, which are between the U.S. and Asia. Probably the most famous of all the Marshall Islands for being totally irradiated due to the U.S. testing nuclear bombs out in the ocean off the coast.
This is a real bummer.
It is. But the history of the place is a lot darker than I think most of us realize. So we gonna get into it. During World War II, the Japanese captured these islands, but after the war, it's been a strategic base of operations for the United States military, and that has been one of those hidden in plain sight type of secrets. Everything that went down there back then should have been a fucking war crime.
Yeah, for sure, right?
The horrors we inflicted on these people is beyond the pale. The indigenous population of the Marshall Islands were self-sustained. They lived in paradise, relying on abundant fishing and tropical plants and fruits on the islands.
Sounds pretty rad.
It was. The people of the Marshall Islands were unparalleled navigators who used the stars to guide them. And all of that changed in 1946 when the United States took over the Marshall Islands as a trust territory. So what a trust territory is basically like, trust me, bro.
Oh.
We'll take care of you, bro, since you clearly can't govern yourselves
They were doing a good job.
They were self-governed. There was no need for this. They had a king, for fuck's sake. They didn't need this shit.
Right.
That basically means we just went there, decided they were too, quote, savage, unquote, to self-govern and said, oh, we'll look after you. And don't get it twisted. This was not a nice gesture. The indigenous people lived there hundreds of years and didn't need looking after.
Yeah.
Immediately, the U.S. government lied to the people of Bikini. We told them that these tests we wanted to do were for the safety of the world, for their safety, for peace.
Did the garment come after the name of the island, do you think?
The what?
The garment?
Yeah, I get into that, actually.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was part of it. Cool.
It is. We told them this would be for world peace, but what we didn't tell them was about nuclear fallout or radiation. So the people of Bikini agreed because they simply didn't understand. And not because they were stupid, but because we deliberately
the nuclear stuff was
truth.
new to us, too. That's why we're testing it.
Sorta.
Yeah.
Not that new. We dropped the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah.
We knew what it did.
Well, I mean, Fallout. Like, is that new?
No,
Like,
we knew what it did.
Oh.
We knew what it did.
Yeah.
So tons of U.S. warships arrived in Bikini's lagoon to begin just blowing the literal fuck out of everything with nukes.
Wow.
And the testing wasn't just limited to people,
Yeah.
but to animals too.
Oh, no.
They tied animals of all kinds, like goats and sheep and pigs, to the decks of ships that would be floating near the detonation sites to see what the effects of radiation and fallout would have on them.
Nothing good.
No, it killed them horribly.
Yeah.
Various substances were smeared on their hides and skin to see if anything would help protect them. Ooh, it's making me cry. I hate cruelty to animals, and this is just beyond sick to me.
Yeah.
Because I think they must have been just so scared.
Yeah.
They didn't know what was happening to them.
Right.
The experiment was to see how long it would take them to die.
That's not a cool experiment.
Well, it'll be reflected in the people of the Marshall Islands, too.
Oh, no.
I'll link some of the footage in the description below. Not of the animal suffering, but the bomb testing to see how... Can you imagine being a person living there and seeing that shit?
No, I'd be too
God.
traumatized. I couldn't handle
Well,
it.
it did traumatize them.
Yeah.
So, much later, and this was like about a decade ago, several of the indigenous women were interviewed and described the bomb being tested. One of the women said she was awakened by a tremendous sound,
Yeah.
a boom.
Yeah.
The test was carried out at 6:45 a.m., and it was still kind of, dark out,
Yeah.
and this lit up the entire sky
Right.
and painted the sky in strange rainbow colors.
Yeah.
The woman, who had been a child at the time, couldn't stop screaming in terror and tried to hide behind her parents. Another woman described believing that it was the end of the world.
Yeah.
As the people of the Marshall Islands reeled from these horrific, terrifying test bombings, the West enjoyed the sensationalism of the nuclear age. A French designer, inspired by these tests, inexplicably, designed the bikini, the two-piece bathing suit.
Inspired by the tests?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Like, how?
They thought it was just cool. I
can't. How?
Now, it's important to note, part of that is the propaganda films of the 40s and 50s. So they made it seem like that this was a big show of force by the United States. This is just after World War II. Everybody's still kind of on edge. So they took this big show of force as like, woo, neato, let's make a bathing suit.
So let's just use underwear, but go swimming in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it soon became all the rage around the world. But we didn't talk about what was happening to the people of the Marshall Islands. Even now, the echoes of the absolute horror of these atomic bomb tests are in the bodies of the people of the Marshall Islands. They are the most irradiated people in the entire world.
I know, like Laos, in Southeast Asia is the most bombed place, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And these people are even more irradiated than Chernobyl or Hiroshima victims. One woman tells her story that she was bathing, that she was a child, in a well after the bomb was dropped off the coast of Bikini, and white dust started to rain down from the sky.
Oh, no.
Because she was a child and didn't understand, she reached out her hand to catch the dust as though it were as innocent
like
as falling snow.
Yeah.
And something they would have never seen.
No, they'd be like, the fuck is this?
The children used it as washing powder for their hair.
Oh, no.
And within a few days, all her hair fell out.
Nope, that
Sorry,
didn't
it
work.
just makes me cry.
Yeah.
The people of the Marshall Islands suffered from radiation sickness, diarrhea, muscle pain, intense itching, headaches, vomiting.
Yeah.
Today, the island is completely uninhabitable.
Wow.
Any food grown there is contaminated. Radiation levels are higher than they are in Chernobyl.
Yeah.
However, strangely, the marine life there seems to be thriving and is now considered safe to eat, but just recently.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I wouldn't bet on it.
Right.
You
yeah.
couldn't pay me to eat any of them fish.
Oh, well, I mean, jeez.
To put it in perspective, a bomb equivalent to the one we dropped on Hiroshima was exploded in the Marshall Islands every day for 12 years.
Wow. Oh, my God. That's so much.
I mean, it wasn't every day. I'm saying the equivalent of the amount of radiation. In total, we dropped 62 nuclear bombs.
That's
Still,
ridiculous.
Just ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's just...
For why, even? Like, we already knew the effects, like you said.
So you want to ask yourself why?
Yeah.
Saber rattling. And that was the point. towards the end of the episode, we'll examine why this was done.
Mm-hmm.
You don't drop that many nukes for no reason.
Yeah, because, I mean, even if you're trying to be an asshole, like, it's a waste of resources.
Yeah. And I knew about it was called the Bravo test, the first one that we dropped on the Bikini Atoll.
Mm-hmm.
And we obliterated an entire island and made it a giant crater in the ocean. You can see it from space.
Yeah.
And I just had no idea what we did to these people and continue to do to them.
Yeah.
Shortly after the first bomb was dropped off the coast of Bikini Atoll, the people were evacuated to barren islands where they quite nearly starved to death. President
Why
Johnson...
couldn't we bomb the shitty islands? Like the one that you know?
There's a reason. President Johnson, in 1968, told them it was then safe to return to their homes.
Yeah.
But this was a lie.
Yeah.
It wasn't safe. It's not safe today in the year of our Lord 2023.
Yeah. I think it's 4 now.
Huh?
I think it's 4 now.
Sorry, I'm not... I made the jump
not
in my
accustomed.
mind. And the United States knew it wasn't safe. They destroyed the land with contamination and moved the people back to see what would happen. Thing is, they didn't evacuate ahead of the first test, the Bravo, even though they knew where the fallout was going to go. And there's only one reason for this, and that is they wanted to have human guinea pigs to see what fallout would do in real time to a population.
Do they have any grounds for suing?
Oh, they've tried.
Yeah.
As if Hiroshima and Nagasaki wasn't enough to see what it would fucking do. The conspiracy behind all this revolves around a now declassified project known as 4.1, which started as experiments on mice, but swiftly moved on to experiments on human beings exposed to nuclear fallout. Men of the Marshall Islands were taken to Chicago, where their bodies were put through many tests to see just how irradiated they were from the Bravo test. There's even an old propaganda film showing this. John, the mayor of Rungulop, it's hard to say, Island, which was 100 miles from Bikini. He was a part of this film. In this film, they had the unmitigated gall to call John an amiable savage.
Wow.
And I don't see John having ever dropped bombs on people to see how they would miserably die and suffer.
Right.
So who's the real savage here?
Yeah, for real.
After the tests in Chicago, they were given apples. That's it, fucking apples. John went home to the Marshall Islands, slowly dying and not knowing it. That's not all. Some of the indigenous people were coerced to drink fluids laced with radiation, or just straight up injected with it.
Wow.
Just to see what would happen.
What the We know. We don't need to test.
Yeah, we know they die. That's the answer. And slowly and horribly. Yeah. In addition to that fucked up shit, resettling their homeland prematurely while it was still so irradiated that it would surely sicken and even kill most of the people that went back. Just to study how human beings absorb radiation from their food and their environment. So John, the mayor, and his wife, and their little son, Leikag, returned to their home, now the most contaminated place on Earth. The people of the island remained there for 28 years as unwitting guinea pigs. Yeah. They were subjected to constant tests and examinations that were both invasive and painful. Yeah. Meanwhile, they developed cancers. Yeah. They didn't even know what cancer was before the U.S. military showed up. And I'm not saying it never happened, but it was primarily regulated to really old people. Right. And so seeing it in young people, especially children, they just didn't understand. Yeah. Thyroid cancer and leukemia ran rampant. As sickness spread through the population, the people begged the U.S. government to move them, relocate them as their children became poisoned. And when the U.S. ignored their pleas, the people there begged Greenpeace to help them. Yeah. And it was Greenpeace who moved the entire population to an uncontaminated island, calling it Operation Exodus. Yeah. Mayor John's son died when he was only 18 years old. Yeah. John and his wife died prematurely from cancer. Yeah. Did the U.S. set up clinics to take care of the horrible side effects of radiation poisoning?
Fucking no, probably.
No. They set up a station that you can go to see how radioactive you are. Cool.
Helpful.
Not that they'll then help you.
Right.
They won't. You just get to know that you're dying slowly from something you didn't consent to from tests. When you go into this building, you are greeted with a video of the test bombings, watching your homeland be utterly destroyed.
Nope. That's
Cool.
real sick.
I think it's beyond. It's just like something out of hell. Like,
Yeah.
it's just something a
Yeah.
Nazi would do. It's
That
like
is
Hitler
100%
shit.
something a Nazi would do.
This was genocide.
For real. Yeah, absolutely.
And torture.
And not just genocide, but you ruined the land too.
Forever? Possibly.
For every, yeah.
You can't go there. And when you see pictures of Bikini Atoll, you think, what a beautiful place. Everything there will kill you.
Yeah, that's fucked up. I can't, there's not even words.
So to this day, most of the refugees and their descendants from the contaminated islands live in abject poverty.
Yeah.
Where once their people, community, and families thrived, they live in slums without running water, sanitation, or electricity. They live in squalor, they starve, and it's entirely the U.S. government's fault.
It's war crime.
They're all dead now. All them bastards are dead now. But somebody should pay.
Something.
In 1986, the United States and all of their benevolence granted limited independence to the Marshall Islands, but there were conditions. And I find this insane.
Yeah.
So they were independent before we got there. We took that away, then dangled it in return for these conditions. And what were the conditions? They had to accept the amount of $150 million as compensation for their suffering. Mm-hmm. Also, they can never act out against the United States in any way, or we'll fucking crush them.
That's just sick.
$150 million is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's bullshit.
Ruined generations and just the land so you can't even, like, bounce back in any way.
Oh, it gets worse. It's just going to get worse.
Yeah.
This isn't even the tip of the iceberg on this horrible shit.
Wow.
And what gets me is they continually, year after year, appeal for more funds, and we just don't even answer.
Wow.
The paltry amount is even more disgusting when you read the accounts of stillbirths, miscarriages, and what the people of the Marshall Islands call jellyfish babies.
Nope, that sounds real bad.
Trigger warning in full effect here.
Wow.
These would be babies born so horribly deformed that they have no limbs, no discernible features, they don't look human.
Yeah.
They're just flesh-colored, partly transparent blobs that would move and wiggle until it died.
So awful.
In the culture of the Marshall Islands, women who had miscarriages were seen as ill omens and often blamed.
Yeah.
So they would bury these babies in secret, unable to mourn them.
Yeah.
Here's an excerpt from the poem Monster by environmental justice activist Kathy Jetnall Kilner. Nerit gave birth to something resembling the eggs of a sea turtle, and Flora gave birth to something like intestines. In our legends live a monster, woman demons, unhinged jaws swallowing their own babies.
Yeah.
So why do all this? What's the fucking point? It was more than just testing the effects of radiation on the people of the Marshall Islands. It was saber-rattling to intimidate China.
Mm-hmm.
It was to put a base on the Marshall Islands to launch missiles from should the, need arise. And this is called Project 2020. Project 2020 was developed in the 90s with the idea that in order to have supremacy over the world, the United States as a nuclear power needs to have nukes on airplanes, submarines, land, and space. And the Marshall Islands was a key, cornerstone of this, especially for space.
Calm down, America. Jeez.
Oh, no, they're never going to fucking calm down.
No.
Never. Never, ever, ever. So, yeah. This base is the Ronald Reagan base, which makes me also want to barf. Mm-hmm. And there are plenty of Americans who live there. In fact, it's only Americans who live there. Mm-hmm. In paradise.
Yeah.
And it is like your typical suburban, upper middle class kind of shit with golf courses, swimming pools, restaurants, and nightclubs.
I bet they got an HOA too.
Oh, I'm sure they do. The missile base is kept up by Marshall Islanders from Ebi Island, which is just across the bay. Ebi is universally known in the area as the slum of the Pacific.
Oh, good.
It's where all the trash is put.
Oh, nice.
And the people there are considered trash. They work on the Ronald Reagan Base Island, cleaning it, picking up rubbish, doing menial labor, and watering the fucking golf course.
Barf.
They're ferried off to live in the slums where trash piles up, and they are all forced into abject poverty. Mm-hmm. Remember, before 1946, these people lived in paradise.
Right.
The United States robbed them of their land, contaminated it, and now forced them to live on a literal dump.
Nice.
There's no way for them to grow their own food because, like, I'll have pictures up on our Patreon. Like, you don't have to be a member of our Patreon to look at the pictures. They're always going to be, like, those will be public posts. Mm-hmm. And I will show you that, like, the beach, it's not a beach. It's just piles of old cars and military equipment and all rusty and disgusting and just huge mounds of refuse.
Yeah.
How are they supposed to grow their own food? The island's only a mile long.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, that's where they get to live.
Awesome.
So they can't grow vegetables or fruit. There's no medicine on the island or really much electricity. eBay has the highest rate of diabetes in the world.
Yeah.
Because all they can eat is imported canned foods and processed foods.
Right.
So let's say you have a medical emergency and you're a person who lives on eBay.
You're probably fucked, huh?
You'd think, well, there's a hospital on the Ronald Reagan base. You could go there, right?
Right.
No,
yeah.
you can't.
No?
No, you don't have any money. Fuck off.
Oh.
You're not an American citizen. You don't get help.
No.
You just die.
Yeah, great.
They're just not even allowed to go.
Yeah.
eBay has one school bus that doesn't run, and they can't afford to replace it. Yet the United States from California tests to this day their ICBMs, which are intercontinental ballistic missiles, by firing them over the Marshall Islands. Mm-hmm. The collective PTSD these people must have.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
No, that's hell on earth.
Each one of those missiles costs around $150,000.
And they can't get a fucking school bus.
And we can't
or
give them anything.
Insulin.
Not even a clinic.
Yeah.
Not even a fucking school bus. Not even some fucking fruit.
Nope.
Like, y'all, I don't know.
This is too horrible. Can we go back to ghosts?
It is horrible, but the thing is I didn't know it.
Yeah, it's important.
I think it's really important to look at our horrible history so we fucking don't do it anymore. We should be voting for candidates that are all about zero nukes on the earth.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, Obama said that. He said that's what he was aiming for.
No.
That motherfucker. Because under Obama, we raised our nuclear proliferation more than any other president. He did it more than any other president.
Yeah.
And I liked Obama as a public speaker, but he was a two-faced liar.
Of course.
He wanted the status quo. That's what you were saying earlier today, and I totally agree with you.
I am definitely a progressive, but I understand that voting Democratic also, it's just for the status quo, but I'll do it so it doesn't get worse.
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't want the status quo. It's wrong.
It's wrong. There is like, you can't objectively look at that and think, oh, that's right. I'm also going to link in the comment, like, the government pages about the Marshall Islands. You can read for yourself the disgusting spin they put on this, painting themselves as heroes to a bunch of uneducated savages. Mm-hmm. It's so fucking gross. It's criminal. And that it's still going on. And babies are still being born with developmental disabilities, developmental delays. Women and men are still getting leukemia and thyroid cancer there. And it's just untold, needless suffering and horror. And when you look at, like, the old videos of the Marshall Island people, they were happy. They were just happy.
Yeah.
They had beautiful life. They had a beautiful life.
Mm-hmm.
And just because they didn't have a bunch of science and technology and modern shit and consumerism and capitalism doesn't mean they fucking needed it or wanted it.
Right. Look
what it did to them. I don't know. Mad. This shit made me so mad. I almost threw up. I cried the whole time doing this research.
Yeah.
Because I had originally been kind of like I do a lot of personal research. I just like to educate myself about rising tensions in China. And so I wanted to see what's going on there. Well, maybe China wouldn't be such dicks towards the United States if we weren't doing this kind of crap and scaring the piss out of them.
Yeah.
You blow up 62 nuclear missiles in the ocean just to show somebody what a bully you are.
Yeah.
And then you expect them to just roll over and take it?
Mm-hmm.
This can only spell doom and disaster for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
For us.
Thanks, Kissinger.
Because nuclear war isn't feared or avoided. We're planning for it. We want it to happen.
Right.
And I think as a kid of the 80s, I'll tell you right now, that is my literal worst nightmare.
Right, right.
That's the end of the world.
Yeah.
And they don't give a fuck.
No. Line go up.
Line go up and everyone die. Who gives a shit?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Something has to change, but I don't know how we're going to do that. I mean, we sit here and say we're free because we live in the United States, but we don't even know the shit that's going on that our own government does.
Well, that's why like podcasts like this are important, because you bet your ass they're not going to teach anybody in school about Marshall Islands.
I never even knew it existed in school.
Right.
I learned about this shit as an adult. I learned about this shit 3 days ago.
Yeah.
I thought they tested one nuclear weapon off the Bikini Atoll. I had no idea it was 62.
Well, even one, you're screwed forever.
Yeah. It just blows my mind. Like, the Earth is like a snow globe.
Right.
The shit's not going anywhere.
No, it just disperses.
Quit fucking it up.
Right.
It's the only one we have. And people like Elon Musk going on and on and on about how we're going to go to Mars. No, we're fucking not. How? You think us poor assholes, you and y'all listening, I don't know if you're poor or not, but you probably are. I mean...
Hey, I want Elon Musk to go to Mars, okay?
But
he
I'm
can
saying
fucking go.
The billionaires have this idea with their fucking stupid-ass bunkers, Mark Zuckerberg and fucking Hawaii, what the fuck, are going to avoid this somehow, and the plebs will just be left to rot. That's their entire plan. You understand that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the rich people go to Mars, and they'll leave a ruined planet, and we'll be like the people, the Earth will be the Marshall Islands.
Yes, that's their plan. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it should piss you off, frighten you, and make you sick in your
Yes, all
heart.
those things, and laughing, because it's just so fucking ridiculous. There's nothing on Mars, and it can't be terraformed. Like, you're out of your mind. We couldn't even do, like, I think we did a Merris Monday on it where we had, like, what do they call them? Like those enclosures where they pretend they're on Mars.
Biosphere.
Yeah, those LARPing.
People all went crazy and were infested with cockroaches.
Yeah, it didn't even work. Like, and that was on Earth.
Yeah, so...
Those LARPers.
I wish I could tell y'all, like, I don't mean this to be a bummer. It is a bummer.
It is a bummer.
At the same time, we can't be ignorant.
No.
I don't want to live with my head in the sand. I feel it's disrespectful to the people who are suffering right now with nobody giving a shit because they're so isolated we can just do whatever we want. That's fucked.
Mm-hmm.
But don't think that our own government won't do it to us, because on the coming Merris Monday, I'm going to talk about how the CIA literally poisoned people with hallucinogenic drugs without them knowing.
Cool.
Yeah, and that was in this country, folks. And to
I know
our
they
veterans,
did it in France too, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm not just shitting on the U.S. I mean, I am in this episode.
We deserve it though.
We deserve it. And the thing is all people in power just shit on the little guy, and that's us.
Yeah, I'm the littlest guy.
You are very small.
Yeah.
You're only 5'4".
That's true.
And all I hope for in my life is that I can just kind of hide and scuttle around like a cockroach until the light comes on.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to run under the fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all what can we do? Because people say, "Oh, you can do." What can we do? I don't know.
I sure can't do anything.
No. And so my only idea is, because all these big problems seem really overwhelming and totally out of our control, it leads you to despair. Nope, get to know your neighbors, be involved in your community, and start doing the little good.
Yeah.
Help each other and love each other and be kind to each other.
Yeah.
That's all we can do.
That's it.
Yeah. I love you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now kiss.
Oh, no.
I was kissing my listeners.
I'm too sad for business time, but I will say this. Please go to our Discord. If you want to talk about this, listen, I'm all fired up. We can talk about it. We can discuss. You can give me your case suggestions. I even hop on voice chat sometimes now. Eventually, it'll be video chat, too. I'm just working up the gumption. I've been busy.
Doing it, yeah.
We're doing it as best we can all the time. Join our Patreon if you want to support this podcast. Even if it's just the $1 tier, every little bit helps keep this thing running.
Yeah.
Because
we'll tell you about more horrible stuff that you just don't want to know.
And if you, I looked at the video and pictures and I'm not okay, this research is sometimes very emotionally taxing on me, and both for the true crime research as well.
Maybe we need a sponsor. Hey, BetterHelp, let's sponsor us. Get some therapy.
I could use some of them therapies, but hey, if you want to send me a little tip, my information will be down below, because this one made me sad. And I would like to go out tomorrow and get a coffee or something, or a candy bar.
Yeah.
This really made me sad. I've been researching this for about a week, and
no more.
no more. I gotta put it in the no fucky wucky box.
Yeah, fucky wucky box.
It just hurt my feelings.
Yep.
Because I have so much empathy, and I wish I could help these people.
I wish I could do something. Yeah.
I want to bring them fruit, but I can't hardly even buy groceries. So it just makes me sad because I wish I had $1 billion. I would Elon Musk all over them in a good way. I would just fix stuff. That's all I would do, and I would think how good that would feel.
I would decontaminate their islands. Come on.
Move them. I would move them to a place that's not irradiated.
Get them a fucking school bus, y'all.
And looking at the sweet little children, just like clearly like they have missing limbs and shit.
Get them a hospital.
God. No, move them. The place is all fucked. It's all
Well,
fucked.
something. Do something. Yeah.
Move them somewhere nice, and you give them a house.
Yes.
And a car and a job. No, fuck it. They don't even have to work for the rest of their lives, and neither should their children or their children's children.
I agree.
For as long as that radiation lasts, that's as long as you support those people.
I agree.
You literally tested them like animals. Yep. Disgusting. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yep. Gotta stop.
Yeah.
So I'm all scoot on off. But hey, if all you can do to support this podcast is listen, I appreciate it very much. I really do. Share this one around. I think everybody should know this.
Yes.
Even children should know this.
Ugh, yeah.
I hate telling kids sad stuff, but we gotta know. We gotta teach our kids because the school isn't fucking doing it.
No, it doesn't teach them shit.
No, but take care of y'all's self, and I promise next Merris Monday will be something real stupid, like what a Bigfoot's farts smell like. You know?
Let's do some big feet.
We'll do a Bigfoot episode.
Hell
I've gotten a lot of requests, despite him being the cryptid I fucking hate the most.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you all so much for your support. If you are listening to this on YouTube, first of all, hello. I just put this podcast on YouTube.
Hello.
And the best thing you can do to support us there is to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'm not going to do that cringy shit where I'm like, smash the like button.
No, but tell your friends too.
Why not? I tell my friends things all the time.
If I had friends, I'd tell them.
Damn, Merris.
Yeah.
It's real talk right there.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.
Us on your social media platform of choice. Linktree/cruelty has all of the links. Check out our Patreon for exclusive episodes, merch, ad-free episodes, live ghost hunts, and much more. Please be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded weekly. Thank you so much. See you next time. Music and production by WWII.